Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about the circulatory system, and for 10th standard, it's one of the very important chapters on physiology. So to begin with, we'll have to know a little bit about the types of circulation. Usually in our body there are tissue fluids. The tissue fluids are, some tissue fluids are there which flows, like say for example blood is a flowing tissue fluid. Lymph, it also flows, and certain tissue fluids are there like the extracellular tissue fluids and the intracellular tissue fluids, they are not flowing. Now they remain either outside the cell in the tissue or inside the cell. There are some other types of fluid which are not flowing at all, like say for example the synovial fluid, or a very partial movement is there, or say for example the fluid in the cerebrospinal fluid which has a very less movement. Now there are two types of circulation. One is called the open circulatory system, another is called the closed circulatory system. Now what is the open circulatory system? Suppose this is the heart, and from the heart the blood is supplied to specific blood vessels to an organ, and from the organ it goes back again to the heart. That means they flow through definite blood vessels and never come out. So usually from the heart it is passed through the arteries to the organ, and from the in the organ it breaks up, branches into capillaries. These capillaries again join to form venules, venules form vein, and it goes back to the heart. Now this type of flow where the blood is never coming out of the blood vessel, they are specifically flowing through arteries, through branches into arterioles, and then farther into capillaries, again venules and joins to form big veins and go back to the heart. So it is never coming out. So in that case we say that this is a closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system is something different. There may be some structure or heart-like structures. It may flow and then it comes out, branches out into small vessel into the tissue fluid, and from the tissue fluid it is connected to another specific type of vessels and goes back to the heart. So here in between there is a breakage in the connection. That means the blood vessels are not there in the tissue fluid. It is directly the blood or blood-like substances like hemolymph, they flow into the tissue fluid, and this tissue from the tissue fluid is collected, but there is a breakage. Now this type of circulation is called open circulatory. I am writing it with O, and this I am writing C, closed circulatory system. So where do you find closed circulatory system? You find in higher organisms, in vertebrates, closed circulatory system, and in some lower organisms also you find closed circulatory system. But open circulatory systems you find in arthropods, insects, there are open circulatory systems. Now we are going to study a little bit about the blood, which is one of the most important tissue fluid. We have to study about blood vessels, the structure of the heart, the blood vessels going towards the heart, coming out of the heart, and we have to know about the lymph and also about the blood itself. Now in blood, if you take blood into human blood, whole blood in a test tube and centrifuge it in high speed in a machine, then you can see the corpuscles settle at the bottom, which is about 45%, and there is a slight yellow colored fluid which is collected on the top. This is 55%. So this is called the plasma, and rest 45% is the corpuscles or the cells which consist of the RBC, WBCs and platelets. Now what is this plasma? Plasma contained of the plasma. The plasma is basically water. 92% of the plasma is water. Then there are certain types of soluble blood proteins. Now what are those blood proteins? Like fibrinogen, like prothrombin, like albumin, like globulin, and so on and so forth. It has all these protein has specific function. Like for example fibrinogen, prothrombin, they help in blood clotting, or else say albumin, it maintains the balance of the water or balance of the tissue fluid and the blood. Or say for example globulins, globulins help in maintaining the antibodies are basically made up of globulins. It also contains 1.2% of nutrient and gases like carbon dioxide, like oxygen. This type of gases are dissolved in the plasma. It also contains inorganic salt 0.8% like bicarbonate salts like potassium, chloride salts and various other salts in the dissolved salts in the plasma. Now this corpuscles is 45%, we will discuss later. Now what are the nutrients? Nutrients like glucose is there, like amino acids are there and fatty acids. Some fatty acids do of lower molecular weight, they flow through the blood, they can be absorbed through the blood, but not the higher fatty acids. Usually they are absorbed through the lacteals and flow through the lymphatic system. So lower fatty acids, amino acids and glucose, they generally are found as a nutrients. Besides, there are various types of minerals, there are various types of vitamins, mostly water soluble vitamins like vitamin B and vitamin C. It contains hormones which travel through the blood to other organs or the target organs. So this is constituent of the blood. Now we are going to study about the corpuscles. The corpuscles are the three types. We say erythrocytes or the red blood corpuscles, white blood corpuscles or leukocytes, and platelets or thrombocytes. Now we are going to study about the erythrocytes first. Now this erythrocyte count is about 4.5 to 5 million per cubic millimeter of blood in case of female. In case of male, it is about 5.5 to 6 million per cubic millimeter. Now this erythrocyte usually what is the structure of the erythrocyte? If you see the erythrocytes, they are round in structure. The diameter approximately is 7 angstrom, 7 micron or 7.2 micron, and inside, it is disc-like. Outside it is thickened, inside. So if you cut it in a section, it will look like this. Okay, so it will have, it's biconcave in shape. Now this contains hemoglobin. An erythrocyte is devoid of the nucleus, it is devoid of the mitochondria, it is devoid of endoplasmic reticulum. This is because to accommodate more oxygen. Plus, if it would have carried the mitochondria, then it would have respired the glucose which is contained in the blood. So how does the respiration in RBC takes place? It is mostly through anaerobic respiration. They themselves respire anaerobically but help in aerobic respiration by carrying of oxygen in the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin has an affinity of adhering to the oxygen molecule to form hemoglobin dioxide. Each hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 molecules of oxygen. So that is the main function of the erythrocyte. If erythrocytes contain less hemoglobin, then people suffer from anemia. If the count of the erythrocyte is less than the normal, it causes erythrocytopenia. And if the erythrocytes are a little bit larger in size, then they are called polycythemia. Now in hemoglobin also, this anemia occurs due to various reasons, of course. That is studied in a different different subject. Now sometimes this RBC count in are more in high altitude because they have to carry more oxygen. There is oxygen stress in high altitude. So people in high altitude have more RBC count. People at a resting stage have a less RBC count. Now WBCs are basically of two types, the granulocyte and agranulocyte. Granulocytes are of 3 types: eosinophil, basophil and neutrophil. Eosinophil is, the cytoplasm is, you can see they have granular cytoplasm and they are binucleated. Here also the cytoplasm, you have granules, the nucleus is not very defined. In neutrophil, this is the largest number found, 60 to 70% of the WBC is neutrophil. It has more than 2 lobes, multi-lobe, and these are also known as the macrophages. And neutrophil, the main function is phagocytosis. Basophil is production of histamine and serotonin. And eosinophil, of course, it reacts to allergic reactions in the body. In agranulocyte, you have lymphocytes and monocyte. Lymphocyte is circular nucleus with a very smooth cytoplasm. Monocyte have a slightly indented horseshoe-shaped nucleus with a smooth cytoplasm. Now the highest number of the WBC is the neutrophil and the lowest number of WBC is the basophil. Now why this name eosinophil is also known as acidophil, because they take an acidic stain of eosine. Basophil take the stain of a basic stain of methylene blue, so they are called basophil, and neutrophil they take neutral stain. Now if the WBC counts are less, then we say the person suffer from leukocytopenia. If it is more, it is harmful. In many cases, when immature WBCs are formed, it causes a disease called leukemia, otherwise known as blood cancer. And thrombocytes will come to that. Now, this particular, what is the specific approximate time for the time span of the leukocyte? It is approximately 15 days, 4 to 15 days is the average lifespan, whereas the RBC's average lifespan is 120 days. RBC is formed in the liver and the spleen, and it is also damaged or destroyed in the liver and the spleen. RBCs are of course formed in the bone marrow also. And the function of the WBC, as I told you, lymphocyte is mostly the function is creating antibodies in the fight against diseases. Monocyte also phagocytosis. So monocytes and neutrophil is basically phagocytosis. They produce antibodies. Lymphocytes are of two types. One is called a B lymphocyte, another is called a T lymphocyte. Now the T lymphocyte is usually they give cell mediated immunity, and B lymphocyte is humoral immunity. So they give two types of immunity in the body. And this T lymphocytes, basically the name comes from the word thymus, and B lymphocyte, it comes from the word bursa. Later on it is termed as bone marrow, so they are mostly formed in the bone marrow, so it's called the B lymphocyte. So this is for today, and in the next class we are going to study about the platelets and what are the functions of the platelets and the process of the clotting of the blood, how platelets helps in clotting of the blood. Or until then, if you have any question, you can put up the question, and thank you very much. And you can of course write to me and subscribe so that you can see the further all the different courses. Thank you very much.